Hey, what's up everybody? In today's video, we're gonna be working on Dodge Dakota and we just have a few things to attend to. So a bunch of kind of miscellaneous stuff. We have to finish putting in the stereo. I wanna clean up some stuff. I want to reduce the length of this large antenna mast. So we'll probably chop it off somewhere down there and remove this ball on the end and put it there. Also, you'll see that the windshield wiper arms are roasted, so the paint's completely gone off there. Small detail stuff, but just stuff that I want to attend to. If we get time, I still want to plastidip this since it's kind of sun-baked. Maybe plastidip that. I'm gonna plastidip this whole thing, so this is all fresh again with the antenna. Over here, you can see what I have. This is what showed up, however you want to say that thing. Scotias. Anyways, it's the kit that we're gonna need. We're just doing single din. We already have the stereo sitting in there, and this is the single din kit type thing. It's kind of a generic one, so it fits a bunch. If I can get it out of here. So that's what it looks like. Again, nothing crazy, nothing too fancy, but it's gonna get the job done. Again, this truck, we're going for performance. We're not going for, you know, sound or like that type of whole thing. So it's not supposed to be like some sound car show thing, because it is definitely nowhere near the condition that needs to be some sort of competitive show truck, that's for sure. So let's knock out this little thing, get that in there. We got to get the dash bezel out of there, and let's get to work. So there's the stereo. It's just loosely sitting here and we can't have that. So what we need to do is remove this dash bezel. I did turn the ignition to on. You have to put your gear selector down so that this thing will clear, and then you just kind of pop it off all the way around. So that's off. Only other thing is just to unplug our stereo, and the reason why I'm unplugging this is because we're gonna bring it over to the bench and we will outfit it on our bracket, so we can just shove that thing in there, bolt that bracket with the stereo on it, and put our faceplate back on. Back to the bench we go. You guys want a good laugh, you'll think it's kind of funny, or at least I think it's funny. 1974 all the way to 2002. Holy. This thing, like, I was just flipping through it, like some of the vehicles, I think I saw a Plymouth Cuda in here. There's all sorts of vehicles on this, but it does fit a 97 to 2000 Dakota. Use these support tabs as required. Remove alignment pin on the bottom. Let's go see how this thing fits first, because there's so many tabs on here, it's insane. So according to the instructions, whatever tabs you don't need, according to their diagram, you have to trim off or remove. So it looks like we'll have to take off this one and this one here. And we have to use the lower pin here, so, and I think this one stays, but let's go double check. So there's definitely nothing here. We can take that one off. This one we can take off. It's gonna mount to that one. And I think this one, that's not doing anything. That is that. So let's bring this back and we can outfit our stereo on it now. So first things first, get rid of that little tweedledum thing. Can probably pop our faceplate if I can remember how this thing comes off, just so we don't scratch it. And I think this can, we'll remove our mic. I was thinking of putting the mic in the bottom. We'll see that in just a second if that goes as planned. That is definitely different. Okay, so depending on what we're doing, this thing comes out. And this little guy goes in, it looks like. So right now you'll see all these assortments of little tabs. I'm just bending some of these down so that this bracket that came with the stereo is gonna hold everything in place. And then the bracket has these two quick releases on it that holds the stereo in. So let's get that secured and move on. There we go. She is in and nice and snug. Stereo can finally go back in the truck. And I didn't record this because it was honestly pretty boring, but I was trying to figure out where to put the microphone. I ended up putting it up there and just running it around the perimeter and across, and the wire comes here. So I got that. I was debating trying to squeeze it in this bottom slot here, but it really didn't fit too well. And then I was worried about any rattling that the plastic might have in the dash and then it picking up from the mic. I thought it was probably just better off to do it there. So let's go ahead and pop it in. It's just a couple of these screws. We'll connect our wires, put this back in. All right, stereo's in. Next up, you guys remember that the dash has some aftermarket lights in it or bulbs in it, and some of them don't seem to work on this side, so there's already a screw missing on the top from the cluster. There's only 3 more left. I'm gonna pop it out, see what I can see, and also see what kind of bulb it is, and maybe get some new ones on the way. Well, I managed to unscrew one. There's kind of that TV cable or whatever it's called goes to your gear selector, and that's right here. So I gotta figure out how to disconnect that, but it's just these cheesy little bulbs. So somebody just put in these, they're just like the T10 194 type bulbs, and there's just a bunch of cardboard on the back of this kind of old school gauge cluster. So I actually have a few of these. If I can figure out how to get that TV cable off in a hurry, I don't want to spend too much time on it, or I can just maybe sneak a couple bulbs in there. It looks like there's only a couple or so that light up this whole thing. So here's the bulbs, and on further investigation, if you want to convert these to LED, you usually have to get these. These are a T5 socket, and you want to get ones that have the contact, because see how there's the contact there and the contact there? The contacts are only on the side. So you have to get LED versions of this so that you can put a regular like a T10 bulb in it. So because these don't have the proper connection, if you try to just stick a bulb in there, see how the pins on like a JDM and Star one, see how the pins are right there? You have to bend the pins to the side of each of them to get it to contact with those contacts on the side. So I went ahead and just straightened these ones just to see if it'll work, and these ones are probably polarity sensitive just to make things even more exciting. So I'm gonna go ahead and see if I can get these things to at least illuminate for now, get some better stuff ordered, and we can upgrade it in the future here. So look, now we have this one working, but the ones over here aren't working. So I have to pop this back out, flip the bulb 180 degrees and put it back on, and the harness attaches when you push the cluster in. There's no wiring harness, it's just a clip that once you click it in, then you get power. So you can't test it until you put it all the way back in, then you have to pull it all the way back out. So we gained what looks like one more bulb over here, but this one, I think there's one here that isn't really working, and one over here we have to flip now too. So we now gained that bulb. I think there's probably some sort of bulb out over there, but honestly I'm not gonna mess with it right now. It's fine, we'll end up upgrading the bulbs. I don't even know if those are burnt out, but the polarity is definitely an issue. You have to sit there and pull the bulb out, flip it 180 degrees, put it back in, reassemble the dash, see if it works. If it doesn't work, take it all out, put it back in. It is a nightmare. So all the gauges look all crazy. Let's see if we turn the ignition if they run all over the place, because the gauges are all upside down and whatever from no power. Well, that's interesting. Well, I don't have an easy solution to get my 2 tach and speedometer gauges back where they should be, but there's a bunch of dust in here, and it's only about, what is it? Looks like 7 screws to take this off and wipe the dust out, and I'll flip my little needles back where they should be. All these other ones are fine, just the tach and the speedo gauge are pegged. So this is super old school. Look at this. This whole thing just comes right off with a few screws. And we can flip our gauges back. Since they're stuck from me turning that stupid thing upside down. And I'm gonna wipe out all this dust and lint out of here since we've got it apart. Got all the dust out of here, we can screw it all back together. Dash is in, let's go ahead and put the dash bezel on. There's the finished installed product. Hopefully you guys can see that. It's kind of dark in here, but yeah, it's pretty clean, pretty trick. It's nothing fancy, obviously. It's just, it is what it is. It's just our dash bezel, and we got our stereo in here. And yeah, it's pretty simple, pretty basic, but it's gonna hold our stereo nice and sturdy. This thing was only like 10 or 12 bucks, so can't expect a whole lot, but it does what it needs to do, and that's it. Next up, I've heard people claim that this ball will come off the end, so Let's see if it comes off, and if it does, we'll shorten this thing. I somehow got it off. I was messing with it. I should have been recording. I did the thing where I put the channel locks here and I whacked it with a hammer a few more times and it just went whooping. If you were gonna do that again, I would recommend putting some sort of tape over it because somehow it was bouncing all over the place and I don't know how because I didn't see it, but I found it on the other side of the garage 2 seconds later. So anyways, it's off. Let's chop it down. I think we'll probably stick with maybe 5 inches or something. I think that'd be cool. So the antenna is off. Only thing that you will notice is it gets thicker as it goes down. So if you probably stay, I don't know, I want to say half the length, you'd probably be okay. But as you get towards the bottom, if you're gonna make a little stubby like we're about to do, we're gonna have to do something because the shaft or antenna mast is actually thicker than the top. Hopefully, I don't know if the camera can pick that up, but it's definitely a little bit thicker down here. Anyways, let's chop it to the length we want and we'll deal with the ball in just a second. This antenna's bent like a banana, but it's another story. I think like that doesn't look too bad, honestly. Could probably go shorter, but I think that's cool. So, like I said, the ball is nowhere close to being able to fit. So what we're gonna have to do, and we're gonna repaint this, is we're going to shave this down so the ball can fit because it is a much smaller size. So hopefully you guys can see this and the camera can focus on it, but this is already shaved down, but it is like nowhere close to fitting. So I'm debating whether we should just like JB weld it on there or try, because we're gonna have to almost make a step on this for that to slide over top, or try to drill out this ball. I think it's about time to get a vise, but I'm gonna drill out this ball. It's a little bit bigger if I can. Okay, I know she looks ugly right now, but we're making some progress, so it actually fits on there snug now. But we'll clean it up, we'll end up painting it, probably sanding it, so it'll look decent in the end, but that's what we got. So I actually got it to press itself on there. What I did was just put it on the ground like so, and I just gave it a few taps with a hammer. And it is, oh, I spoke too soon. It was on there good a second ago. So just to ensure that this little ball is not gonna come off, I'm just gonna mix up just a blob of JB weld, and we'll shove it in the end of the antenna. It's probably almost even too much. I literally just need a dab of it. And then while we end up painting it and all the other stuff, it'll be cured. So this will ensure that our little ball doesn't go anywhere because it's a snug fit, but this will just be that extra little precaution or whatnot. So I'm just going to fill up the ball and then we'll slam it on there. Like I said, this is gonna be even too much in itself, but we'll let it spew out the sides, we'll wipe it down, whatever it wants to do. We'll shove the ball in there. I'll do my little hammer tap on it, wipe it off, and then I'm gonna move on to painting it. All right, so she's on. I'm gonna wipe off this little excess here, and then we'll paint it. All right, so let's leave that dry and go pop off those wiper blades. Wiper arms, why do I keep saying wiper blades? We will take the wiper blades off, that's for sure. So take off the blades so that we can paint the arms. Pop this silly little cap off. And that looks like 16, I would have to guess. 15. So I'll remove these nuts here. Hopefully they come off. I know sometimes these things can be a pain to get off, but the windshield is just off, so hopefully these will come off somewhat easily. I think I might have to close the hood to get the spring tension off it. I'll release this one too. All right, so I'm gonna have to save the wiper arms, unfortunately, for a different day because I can't get them off. I tried yanking on them. I know there's a special puller tool that you can actually use to get these off where it's pushes on the center and pries on the outside, but I don't know when the last time those things have been off, and they definitely do not want to come off. So what we're gonna do next is the antenna's off. It's painted, it's black, it looks good. And I just shoved this little piece of paper in here. So I'm just gonna spray this whole thing with plastidip so it looks a nice black. The chrome piece will be black. This faded out piece of plastic will be nice and black, and it'll just complete the look. So I'm just gonna tape off just this area here with some masking tape, and then we'll spray this whole little thing. This can is almost empty, so I'm hoping we can get what we wanna get done, but that's it. We just have it taped off, and if you've ever worked with plastic, it's kind of weird stuff. It breaks at a hard edge, so that's why we're gonna let it come onto here. If you try to tape it perfectly, it'll end up peeling it up. You let it come onto the surface, and then once it dries, you peel it, it breaks at a hard edge, and you're left with a clean outline. Well, I think it might be okay. I don't know, it just seems to keep coming out of this can. I don't know where it comes from, but I was almost debating putting some stuff around that and spraying the arms with this. This can feels like there's nothing in it, but I think that's like as much as I almost need on that. Like, I don't think I really need to do anymore. So I'm gonna let this dry, but I am gonna take this off just because I want to open my hood, and this is preventing me from doing so right now. So that's what it's gonna look like as soon as it is done drying. We'll peel off all that funness, and it'll peel right up. So in my relentless efforts to get this off, definitely not the right tool for the job, but I think it's gonna work. So this is a ball joint splitter, and I just reversed it, and I managed to get the thread up enough that I think I should be able to push on the middle and lift that. So let's crank it a bit, see if it works, and hopefully I can get it on that side. Jeez. Well, you guys know they were definitely on there. All right, so I guess that works. But I wasn't being a girl. That was insanely on there. All right, let's see if I can get it in on the other one. Ooh. All right, you guys, she worked. So those haven't been off in a minute. They're full of dust. All just like corrosion and stuff fell out when I broke it free. All right, so I just gave them a quick pass with a wire brush. So let's go spray those and move on to the next. So it's pretty dark out, so I doubt you'll see anything, but same thing, just matte black, 8-minute dry. We'll spray them, get it done. So while the wiper arms are out there drying, this is almost ready to go. So this is almost dry where we can peel it, but this is gonna look slick, you guys. I'm pretty happy with how this all came out. So once it all dries and we peel this off, we'll get the full look of how she's gonna look. All right, so we're gonna see how far we get with our empty can. So I just taped this all off. So I'm gonna spray this with the bottom of the can of the plastidip, see how far we get. And if we got enough, we'll do the other side. This side for some reason is worse than the other, but let's see where we get. It doesn't seem to need much. I honestly think I might be able to get away with doing the other side. So let's go tape off the other side at the same time. You guys can probably hear just how empty that can is. So see how far we get with the emptiest can of plastidip in America. No way, we got one clean coat on there. That's all I really wanted, so. All right, that's pretty much all we need for this one. I just wanted to at least match the color of that side. We'll try to do a little bit thicker coat on that side to try to fill some of those little cracks that are on there. So while this dries, I think we can now peel this up. So this is what I was saying. It's gonna be kind of like a balloon, and it's literally gonna break right on that hard edge. I still don't really want to touch our nice surfaces because it could potentially, it's still a little soft. So I don't want to leave any fingerprints in it, but this is where we're at. So there you go. So anywhere else where you think there's a little bit of overspray or something, just use your finger, it'll rub off. And there we have it. Check it out. So this is looking much, much better already. So we have a nice black on it at least. It kind of has that little textured look to it, and that's actually not the plastidip, but it's the rubber underneath it, how it's all kind of cracked. But honestly, you can't really tell. It looks kind of factory unless you really got up close. You could kind of see it gets a little bit more serious up here. That's still just a couple wet marks, so those will dry up. I'm gonna hit it with whatever's left in the bottom of the can. Try to get this, maybe it'll hopefully fill out some of these little smaller cracks, maybe make it a bit smoother. If not, I think at some point, if it really bothers me after this, which I don't think it will, but I could sand this and then plastidip it again and it would be good as new. So let's hit it with whatever's left in the can and see where we get. I'm gonna go ahead and put just one more on this since this can seems to be still holding up. So we got that drying, we got the other side drying, we got our windshield wiper arms drying. We'll let all this dry, and in the morning I'm gonna peel everything off just so we can handle it a little bit better. I don't wanna be touching it because it's probably still gonna be able to get fingerprints on it. So we'll let it all dry up, put everything together in the morning. Okay folks, so it is the next day. This stuff is all dry and looks much, much better. So this is the fun part, I think at least, is we'll peel all this up. And we'll have to peel it off kind of like a balloon. Look how good this thing showed up or turned out. I am pumped on how that came out. For us not really spending any money and doing that on a budget, that is a huge improvement. Anyways, let's pull this up and this will be done. I just gotta go along here. It's not that exciting, but I'm gonna pull this stuff up and off here where it'll rip clean against the seal and we'll be done. Ta-da, there's that side. All looking fresh, and we'll move over to this side. Same deal, take the tape off and peel the excess. Boom, there's that side all done, and let me show you the wipers now. So there's our wiper arms all in satin black. So I'm gonna go ahead, pop them on, nothing too crazy, but now it'll all be nice and not so dried out and faded looking. Woo! All right, there those are. Geez, it's almost like you change one thing and then the next thing looks ridiculous. Almost like the wiper blades themselves are looking faded, the paint on them, but I'm not gonna paint those obviously because it'll get all over the actual rubber part. But much better look, and if we close the hood, I think that'll clear. Yes, it does. Look at that. Way, way better. I don't know if you guys remember what it looked like at the beginning of this video, but it was looking super crusty. This thing was all faded. These were all faded, missing paint. And the antenna was all looking crazy with this all faded looking. I think the only thing we need to do now is I just want to mention something on this. I saw some people mentioning the heat gun trick, heating these up to try to release some of the oils out of the plastic to get it to look nice and rich and black again. But I don't know necessarily, like you gotta remember the climate that we're in. In Southern California, these things are getting absolutely annihilated with heat pounded on sun and all that stuff. I think it's probably been kind of in elements that are far surpass heat guns at some point. I could be wrong, but I think if I try to heat this up, I don't know if that's really gonna do what I want it to do. I think honestly the easier answer and way would just be, if I'm gonna maintain this little carbon fiber vinyl thing for now, I know maybe it's cheesy, but I might lift the handle up, tape this off, close the handle, and then just plastidip this. It'll look a nice fresh black. It'll look like our door lock here. It'll look like this there. It'll look real nice, and it'll look similar to the more shiny black that we have on the mirrors. So I might do that, but that can that we have is pretty much out at this point. One more small detail I do want to do at some point is remove this badge and put something in this place, because right now, if you guys remember, if you've been with the channel for a little while, when we picked up this truck, it has a badge here, but then you go to the other side and we got no badge. So just small details now that this thing's starting to look half decent. And I do want to wet sand this at some point with maybe some 1500 or 2000 grit. See if I can get some of this faded clear to come off, because I honestly think that this is clear coat overspray. And the reason why I say that is because this door has been repainted before and a lot of different parts of the truck, and I think this honestly is the original blue. I know this is just paint gone no matter what, so but up here I think this is overspray on top of the original clear, because if this was just bare blue paint, it wouldn't still have this shine to it. So I think this is the original blue, and then this is clear over it. Either that, I think that's just what it is, honestly, because there's no other reason that I can explain that we have clear, but then still have shiny blue underneath this layer of clear. So I think I'm gonna try to wet sand some of that off, see if I can make it look just slightly better for the time being. I have different spots. Like, so for example, this, right? So the clear, there's a chunk of clear missing here. See how the blue is flat underneath it? Whereas up here, we have shiny blue underneath the clear. So that's why I'm thinking that. And as far as the roof, it's dusty right now, but it turned out pretty decent. So I haven't really gone crazy with polishing it, but overall it looks pretty good. It doesn't look like the top of the door. So I'm gonna leave it like that for now. It doesn't bother me. And that's pretty much most of the stuff for cosmetics and whatnot. I haven't gotten to the rear speakers, but like I think I was mentioning to you guys, the speakers that I have these are the ones that the truck came with, but they're too small. I don't even know what size these things are. They're tiny though. 4-inch. So I think it's supposed to be either 6-inch or maybe something 6.5, but these are too small. I might just hang them in there temporarily. I can't open the doors right now because it's on the lift. And if you guys are looking in the background, you'll notice we have a few things. So I got this drive shaft loop that has to go on, and I also have to, hopefully, we just got these. I'll show you guys all the details of those, but the idea is to put the Hoosier tires on 2 of those for the rear. So anyways, lots going on. But if you guys enjoyed this video, make sure you give it a thumbs up. Lots of stuff on the way. I'm trying to finish this up tonight. Tomorrow, I don't know when you guys will see this video, but tomorrow in the morning, I gotta try and throw that drive shaft loop on there. Wait for the FedEx man to show up. Hopefully he shows up on time with our drag slicks and we can go to the track, set a good time, and at least look a little bit better doing so. So if you like this video, give it a thumbs up for me. It helps support the channel and helps it grow. Also hit that subscribe button. If you guys are stopping in for the first time, we have a lot of stuff going on, a lot of build stuff, a lot of activity, and we're gonna go racing pretty much almost every week now. I think I'm gonna try and do it because it's kind of fun. So we'll try to make it as much as we can. Now we have drag slicks, so we'll be able to at least hook. That won't be an issue, and it's gonna be fun. Also, you guys can support me and support the channel and support all these mods and us going racing by purchasing Teespring shirts below, and you'll see it below here, or clicking on that join button. You can join the channel, support all this. Any money from all this stuff just goes right back into it. As always, we'll see you on the next video, guys. Thanks for watching.